Welcome back to Bounce Around Charleston. We've been talking with Reverend Reed, Reverend Rivers, Attorney McFarland about the Ferguson situation. Now, first of all, I want to start off by saying I noticed that in this situation, a lot of people went to Ferguson from a lot of different areas. Do you think that helped cause some of the unrest? Different people coming in, pushing buttons that may not have been, should have been pushed?
Well, there's a reason they went, though, because of how what it represented. The indignity of it, just the brutal nature of it. Yeah, some folk went to cause trouble. That happens in parties, it happens in clubs, it happens everywhere. That's not a new thing. But by and large, what happened, I think when you make that conversation, it ignores what precipitated it. If Michael Brown wasn't dead, nobody would have been in Ferguson. Right. Except the people who lived there.
Okay, thank you, sir. So let's talk about some solutions. Justice ministry, what would they present in a situation like this?
Well, as we've said, I would hope that we could demonstrate that we are all in this together. And if one community, one aspect of the community suffers, we all do. If one portion of our young people are at risk or disenfranchised, then by some measure we all are. And we don't like to talk about that. Early in my time with the Justice Ministry, one of my seasoned African-American colleagues said that in Charleston, we would rather be polite than honest. So one of the things we're trying to do through the Justice Ministry is get real with one another and not be afraid to name what's not working. And by the way, celebrate what is, by the way, and point out good leadership where it certainly does exist. But if we don't break down that wall, we don't have any real relationship. It's really a farce, and we're looking for something real.
Reverend, dealing with the Reverend Al Sharpton organization, how would you all?
Well, the action is the middle part of is our middle name because we take action. But in this area, it's all about local leadership. Reverend Sharpton is fond of saying, if you were going to take care of it, and you don't need me there, then I wouldn't be here because you'd already taken care of it. That's why I'm here. And so in his church is a part of Charleston Area Justice Ministry, and his church and mine, and we started this to do something entirely different. This is a radical approach. We have 27, almost 30 congregations, black, white, Christian, Jewish. We even have the mosque now as a part of the Central Mosque, because there's a heart for justice in religious leadership that has to be in the congregation. And the congregation. Just having the leaders won't do it. We have to have the congregation. So at our church, we work hard. We have over 14 people who have taken on the role of being leaders in this work. Reverend Reed has the largest group when we have our annual sessions together, asking and demanding justice. They bring 300 strong, so we're trying to catch up with him. But the truth is, when you see that vision, and he knows this, when we had the first one at St. Matthew Baptist Church, it was stunning.
Because I saw the news, over 2,000 people.
It's multiracial, multi-generational, interreligious, interfaith. It was awesome. That's what it takes. But it's work, it's hard. So one of the things we would encourage people to do is Charleston Area Justice Ministry is growing, and it's necessary to become involved. From the NAN perspective, we have a call right now. I have to go to, up in North Carolina, we got a potential hanging. We don't blow it up. We go find out what the truth is.
Okay. Attorney McFarland.
And I think the key is leadership within the church, as well as leadership of the church interacting with governmental leaders. And that's one of the things that the Justice Ministry does so well, because what has happened is that there are now conversations with the governmental leaders, the police chiefs, the sheriff, the mayors, who control the actions of police officers, so that what happened in Ferguson was a function of there not being any relationship apparently between the African American community primarily and the white community, and also those two communities with the role of police officers, so that you begin to address the issues. One of the things about policing you hear so often is that you attack small crimes in order to prevent large ones.
Crime, yes.
Well, the same thing holds true when you talk about relationships and preventing the kind of eruption that you had in Ferguson by saying to the police department, do we jail teenagers for truancy or nonviolent crimes rather than taking another approach? So you have this conversation going so that when something does happen, we are going to have continuing issues of police abuse. I mean, and it may be, you know, it may be the bad apple syndrome or it may be systemic. But we're going to have that. But the question is, are you ready for it?
Are you ready for it? Now, let me tell you something, gentlemen. We're going to bring you all back because we've got to continue this conversation. But at the same time, we've got some other things we've got to do. But we're grateful for Reverend Reed, Reverend Rivers, Attorney McFarland. And we'll be right back to talk to you about what's happening with the Moja Arts Festival.